Hello, it's me, Kyle, from GivePause Hobby, and I'm here in the element with the classic GivePause sunrise shot. One day it'll be nice to have a spot to, reliably go record things when I'm awake and I have time that doesn't wake the kids or my wife up, or be echoey, like crazy, like my office at school. So until that time, here I am in the element again, with probably at least a little bit of my morning voice. But let's get to the business of today. Timeout with GivePause number 6. So this was a pretty short month in terms of, since the last Timeout, things hitting the channel. Life has just been kind of crazy. In this past month, my school, we are now back to fully in person. Well, 4 out of 5 days a week. Some kids still being online. So teaching 2/3 of my students in person, 1/3 at home. We also started playing in our small groups for band, because we can space out. We have bell covers, masks, all that good stuff. So just like a total change of what we've been doing, back heading towards, normal, what band is normally like. But that doesn't make it any less stressful to kind of get up and running. And last week we started track for our middle schoolers, so we can all get outside, space out, run, throw shot put, or shot put. And that's a lot of fun, but it's just a ton of other stuff going on. So yeah, it's been a tricky time to find time to do stuff for the channel, but managing to get some stuff out, and a little bit more on that in a little bit. So first up, right after the last Timeout, Table for Two finally exists. That show I've been talking about for since I started this Timeout with GivePause. So Kate and I, we showed off Hierarchy, which was one of our most played games last year. Super simple, super small, very, tactical, 2-player card game from Button Shy. And it's delightful. It was super fun to record with Kate, try a new format. So that exists now in the world. After that, I was lucky enough to do a teach playthrough and preview of Longshot, the dice game, which is the horse racing game that was on Kickstarter, is now done. I'm not sure if they're doing pre-orders or not, maybe. But spoiler, it's a bunch of fun. I mean, if you like dice, but if you don't, I feel like anything that ends in the dice game, you should probably just knee-jerk avoid. Yeah, super fun, and I was really glad to get a look at that ahead of time. Though I am still a backer and looking forward to the extra bits that we're going to get when the actual pledges arrive. Third thing on the docket, Tea and Pancakes 1.5. So this was a special case, and I thought, I really like this format of Tea and Pancakes to show, if for no other reason, so I can keep track of my rankings of the factions, how much I've played the different maps, and hirelings now that those are out and all that. But so I thought, to break the mold a little bit, if there is a really, really interesting game or set of games, or like Discovery or whatever, to have a Tea and Pancakes, whatever the main number is, whatever. This one was roughly halfway between 1 and 2, so I named it that. And it was just about the massive, mega 6-player edition of Robo Rumble, and my thoughts, ranking the factions based on how they were to pilot for that big game. Table for Two made its triumphant return 2 times in the first month. So we did Railroad Ink Challenge, which was a brand new arrival from Horrible Guild. The Kickstarter backers got our rewards, and super fun. We had the lush green edition, and not all, but some of the expansions. We just did a base lush green, so not even using the forest or the path dice, just introducing the new mechanics in the challenge version of Railroad Ink. And both Kate and I liked the first games, Red and Blue, but this one I think it's got even more staying power. And we're very excited to play more of it. Next up, a P&P check-in for Root Marauder. I did a Badgers vs. Cats 1v1, no hirelings because there aren't, BetterBot project rules for hirelings yet. Though Benjamin says he is on the hunt for making those rules. Someone just joined me at the parking lot this early. So it was just a 1v1 and super interesting experience. I wanted to see how they would handle being in that spot, because Marauder is being billed as a good matchup, sort of like in Unmatched, totally unrelated from Restoration Games. Those boxes, most of their products are just 2 characters, and kind of they usually come with a map, at least 2 characters, and so you can just boom, go right into it and play. And that's kind of how Marauder is being built, that the Rats and Badgers are great foils for each other. So we don't have the Rat bot yet, but I thought, let's give the Cats a go and see, because Cats typically do well if they are left to their own devices, and the Badgers don't necessarily need to be on the front line of battling. So I thought it would be an interesting match, and it absolutely was. Next up, the last 2 things that we got in before this video are 2 installations, 2 installments, there's the word, of a new project, Asymmetric Exercises. So this, I've been kicking around this idea for a while, composing music for each of the factions in Root. And I, this summer, want to get back to working on my intermediate trumpet book. I have kind of like a version 0.8 that I was using in the before times, right up to when COVID hit, and then, things went sideways. And I kind of want to get back into that mode of writing new music. And also, anytime I can do something that I can just dive in and be geeky about Root, it's a thumbs up for me. So I thought, why don't we put these 2 together? And I'm writing trumpet exercises based on each of the factions. So the first one, Creation by Conspiracy, is all about the crows, as you might imagine. And the second one, Beautiful Infrastructure, is about the Marquis de Cat. So those are the first 2. I'll be going through all of them. There really obviously isn't an order, since I went crows, then cats. It's pretty much just what music strikes me in whatever order. And in each little episode, not only do I play the music for you, that's usually just a little teeny bit, talk about where the music came from, like a little bit of the composition process, the reason why I think it fits the faction, and then why, as a trumpet player and teacher, do I think that the exercise is, worthwhile in its own way, because those are kind of the 3 main tenets that I want. I want it to be thematically or mechanically or both match one of the factions, to be pedagogically sound, to have a reason for it existing, something that makes it worth studying as a trumpet player or as a teacher to theoretically give to a student. And I guess, 3 is that it should be fun. Anything I write musically should be fun to play and listen to. That's kind of like a boilerplate feature of any time I put pencil to paper trying to write music, as it probably should be, if we're being honest. So those are the things. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things this month. So I guess that's actually the same amount of things that I did last time, but it's just that I had a couple months of just like wild productivity, again, probably to my detriment, and I have since kind of pulled back a little bit, and I'm feeling much better about the pace. So thumbs up. So coming up, I have the next 2 asymmetric exercises composed. They're written, but I need to record them, and I need to record me talking about them. So that means the oftentimes, hard work is done, the writing is done, the sometimes tedious work of getting the just right recording is yet to be done, and the always times interesting and fun job of talking about music and writing process, that's also yet to be done. Sports with Kate. We have, speaking of triumphant returns, this has been a while. It was a much bigger pause before the last one, but there's still a decent chunk of time between when we did, was it? Oh, the Sportsers, Who's Who Sportsers with Kate. And this one is an actual, just single sport like the old ones. This is just football, just about football. And so that's going to be coming up soon. That's part of a collection of something kind of new for the channel, which was me getting a bunch of content in the can when the opportunity arose. Our daughter was with my parents for a handful of days. What was that, 2 weeks ago? And yeah, I kind of just went into it. Kate and I really wanted to get some games in. We each had some like individual things that we wanted to do. Like that's when I finally got to play Badgers v Cats. But we also went into it with some ideas for recording, getting some content made. So I came out of that weekend with like 5 things recorded and just waiting to edit. And I'm still working through that, which is perfect because it's hard enough to find editing time right now with track and school and all that stuff. So I just have some things ready to go, and then smaller format things like this or like asymmetric exercises that I can squeeze in. And it's, I think it's working out pretty okay. So Sports with Kate is one of those things. I have 2 reviews, also part of that, that like group of things that I recorded that weekend. Neither of them are like white hot newness. They are games that I've had for a while, and I just have been wanting to talk about them. So they're coming out soon. Tea and Pancakes 2, this has yet to be recorded. This will be coming up soon because I have hit the new threshold of 35 games of Root. So time to talk about where my standings are. My standings are locked in. Just finding time to actually sit down and talk to the camera and myself about it. Last but definitely not least, this is also one, wasn't part of that like big push for recording content, but it was something that was done somewhat recently and has yet to be edited. And that was me talking with Lord of the Boards Sam Smith about something about Root. It's a project that the two of us have kind of been kicking around for a while, and just had to find time for it to work, and we did, and it was it achieved the emotion that we wanted it to achieve when we conceived it. Boy, that was weird and drawn out, and it's just me doing an awkward way of saying, stay tuned. It's really interesting and fun, and it'll be coming out soon. So, yeah, it's amazing. I think I just stretched a pretty small amount of stuff out into a shockingly large amount of time. So, fun stuff that I did this past month. Really fun things that I already have in the, recorded, ready to go. And so just kind of focusing on that, because knowing life is crazy. Looking ahead to next month is my 1-year anniversary as a channel. So that's kind of wild, and looking forward to the summer. That's where I started the channel's life, because, there's lots more time for me as a teacher to bring to bear on the channel at that point. Looking forward to what that might hold this year, now that I have a little bit more know-how of how this all works. So thanks for stopping in. I have no idea how the sun is on my face on this one. It's pretty bright at this point. I honestly I underestimated how quickly it was going to be rising. Otherwise I probably would have went in a different spot. I thought I had more time, but A, I didn't, and B, I took too long. So hope everyone has an awesome day, and we will see you in the element, at the game garage, on our couch, who knows where. But until then, have fun playing some games. Bye, everybody.